Hello, I'm Gene, and my ancestors did not come over on the Mayflower. Ellis Island, how embarrassing. But life went on and got better. How about telling your life story so that friends and family, present and future, can know your history? The people shown here liked that idea. So they looked into my cameras and provided recollections from childhood to the present. Top this lady. Susie recorded her life story at age 104. Give it a try. For starters, you'd jot down a list of reminders to yourself. Then we'd find a quiet corner, hook up a couple of lights, and record. Most likely chatting and recording would wrap up in under 90 minutes. In a couple of days, you'd see the edited version, where you alone talk to the camera. Your edited video will be tightened to about 15 minutes. If satisfied, you'll receive 3 copies preserved on QR code. If you're displeased, the master copy will be erased and you can decide what to do with your sample. Got 4 minutes? Here's a string of clips taken from 6 of these biographies.
2 years after Gene's death, I met George. He had been on PT boats during the war, and I didn't know him at that time. After we met, 3 weeks later, we got married. A year and a half after George and I were married, we had Anne, and exactly a year later, we had Rob. In fact, Anne likes to say, her father said to me when she was born, next year you go back and have a boy, which I did.
After leaving Sam Goody's, I went into several retail jobs and worked up until 1992 when I met my wife Judy through a personal ad. Judy and I lived together for 6 years before we got married. At the time I met Judy, I was employed at Burlington Coat Factory. During the 6 years that Judy and I were together, we discovered a lot about each other, and we discovered that we were very compatible and had a lot of the same interests.
My daughter Micheline was born in January of 1965, and she's been the delight of my life. I couldn't have asked for a better daughter. While she was in high school, she met her husband-to-be, Anthony Nesto, and they dated for several years before they got married. 8 years later, they became the parents of 3 beautiful triplet girls, Alana, Brielle, and Jenna.
After I got out of the Navy, I had a selection of all different jobs until I was drafted to go to Korea. Back in the 51 to 53, I was in Korea, in the chemical supplies. In 1960, while I was in General Motors, April 1960, I got married to Teresa Bailey in Brooklyn, New York.